Hi, welcome to the Triple V podcast. I'm Daniel,
I'm Matt.
and it's time to crack open the can.
And spill the tea. That wasn't our best intro, but
No,
you
that
know.
was okay. That'd be fun. So after the success of last week's podcast,
I would say it's a success. We
that was
got,
all right. Yeah.
well, currently on YouTube on over 100 views.
Who are these people?
I don't know who they
Who are you? Yeah.
but thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I mean, let's hope this podcast doesn't absolutely drop in comparison. We
Yeah,
might be on like 10 viewers.
I don't know. That might have been our kind of our very kind of
peak.
petty kind of debut, but had a bit of feedback from my family, so helpful as ever. So my twin Tom said, "Why is it not filmed?"
Yeah.
Which is fair, but
Have we got an answer?
No.
Mainly because
We look like shit. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say that's fair. Yeah.
And then also, my mum said it was too long. She said there wasn't, there's not enough like jokes and stuff in it. So
Well, we're not going to change the length of it particularly. We're quite happy with the length.
yeah.
We're just here having a chat,
yes,
We don't want to limit that massively.
I agree.
But we are going to try and make it a bit more light-hearted for Julie.
Yes.
Thanks, Julie, for your recommendations.
Big up, Julie.
Big up. So we're going to start off with a joke. Dan made this joke when we were sitting in the library. It was quite a dull day.
Okay.
But this joke, honestly, it made the day. It really did. It was so entertaining.
That's
fun.
how boring our lives are, yeah. But no, we they do these they have these kind of like throws, don't they, in the library?
Blankets, yeah.
Blankets, and
You can pick one up if you're feeling cold. Wrap
or you're
yourself
feeling
up.
quite ill and stuff, yeah. And my personal opinion on these blankets is like, people who have them must be ill to have to rely on a blanket for heat, and so
Or you just feel like the need to be cozy because it's quite a nice feeling. Anyway, sorry.
but they must literally be full of pathogens. Like, I'm not particularly hypochondriac, but they literally must be full of like bugs and all sorts.
Yeah.
So I said there should be there shouldn't be these throws, so there should be a blanket.
Yeah.
Put it wrong.
I apologise. Dan has
bit
butchered the punchline. Should we go again? There should be a
Blanket ban.
Hey,
There we are, yeah.
Lovely. I honestly, that cracked me up. It was such a good joke. Maybe that telling of it wasn't as good since we had to do it twice, but that's all right.
No, it's a bit slow.
I'm sure Julie appreciates
sleepy,
it
aren't
still,
we?
though. The viewers will appreciate that
what
one.
happened last night, Matt?
What happened last night? We went on that out.
Yeah.
Went to an event called Soul Jam. It was really good. It's at Lab 11.
Yes. Yeah.
It was absolutely packed though, really busy, which is good in a way, but at the same time it's like there was an almighty amount of shoving and pushing. But music was good. A lot of people there I knew, so it was good. You enjoyed it?
Yes, I feel great night. Yeah, great fun. Pretty good. Yeah, came back. I feel a bit worse aware now, but I feel like
not
a bit tired.
Neither of us are on the best of form, but
my synapses
we're
are
both drinking today.
both drinking. Yeah.
Whereas last week you felt you were
Yeah.
a bit hungover.
I was a bit more. Yeah, I was kind of. Yeah, I wasn't.
And you're
feeling
on
that good.
second night out tonight, and then a third night
possibly.
out tomorrow. 3 in a row.
Yeah, that doesn't sound particularly pleasant, but we'll see. Yeah, maybe.
Hopefully, you'll manage it.
Hopefully.
I'm feeling a bit achy, Dan, because played for the football team. I had a group of friends on the football team.
Yes.
In the campus league.
Yeah.
Did very well today.
Lovely.
We've been under a bit of a rough patch.
You have, yeah.
Really, it's
yeah.
been a rough patch.
I mean, I go to watch you like most weeks, don't
You do.
I? And,
I would say you're up there with the biggest fans of the team.
yeah.
But last couple of weeks we've taken a few big losses.
Yeah.
Not numerically. We've not lost by a lot, but we've just been better than the team and we've been beaten. So we've been disappointed. But today turned it round, 4-1.
Bro.
Very happy. Their goal was, we're not going to count it really.
Well,
It's a bit.
yeah.
If you're listening,
I suppose kind of like starting
We're
off
not
so kind
counting
of
it.
well, without, not winning and kind of quite a few draws and stuff, like if you get the momentum behind you, like you're unstoppable. Like,
we're pushing for top 4.
Yes, top 4.
We are. So hopefully
Is it
out
like,
of
what?
nine teams.
Oh,
So that's
okay,
pretty good. Definitely.
That's out of 5 teams. Or something.
No, there's 9 teams. That's
yeah.
plenty.
But not only football. Live in a very healthy house.
We're doing very active.
Apart from me.
You claim to be the least athletic person in the university, don't you?
One of the
least athletic.
Hopefully I'm up there. Hopefully. But
We have a netball team as well, don't we?
yeah, it's good. Yeah. So how's that going?
Yeah, good. I mean, I missed the game at the weekend because I was in Sheffield.
Yeah.
But we won again. Another
Yes, yeah.
success. I think we've got 3 on the bounce now with the netball team. We're actually quite good at it. Considering half of us have never played before.
Yeah.
Particularly the lads, we're doing very well. I think we are probably the most hated team in the league because
You're quite rowdy, or you?
Oh no, we're not rowdy. It's just so much that girls don't really like playing against lads because A, they don't understand the rules, and B, they're quite aggressive, and C, we're taller. So I mean, usually we have the advantage on them. And if you've been playing for 10 years and then, I come along and I've never played before and I find it all right. It's a bit demoralising from their part, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But it's going well. The team's doing well. We're hoping for another win. We don't think we can win the league because unfortunately the team we narrowly lost to at the start seem to have a bit of a domination going on. But we keep our fingers crossed.
On the theme of football or the theme of netball and whatnot and sport in general, you're also into another type of ball.
I am.
Korfball.
Korfball. That was actually why I was in Sheffield at the weekend.
Yes,
for Korfball.
So spotlight on Matt Griffin, Korfball.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Okay, so basically, Korfball's like mixed gender netball.
Okay.
You've got 8 people on a team. 4 girls and 4 boys, and you're only allowed to mark your own gender. So if I marked a woman, it would be a foul. And so the idea is that it's fair that way, because if I marked a tiny girl, that would seem quite unfair.
What if a giant woman marked a tiny boy?
Yeah, no, both ways it's a foul.
Oh, right, okay.
It's not really the size of the person's not relevant to how much of a foul it is. It's a foul regardless.
Yeah.
Anyway, no one really understands, apart from people who play it, how korfball works. We've got this weird reputation not being a proper sport. I can assure the viewers and the listeners that korfball is a proper sport.
I mean, yes.
We have one of the biggest memberships of the University of Birmingham sports.
I find that crazy. Like, fair, but like before even coming to like university, I've never even heard of it.
I know, it's quite unheard of, but
yeah,
once you're in the korfball world, you realise that's actually
you can't leave.
You can't leave. No.
Well, I've kind of dipped my toes into the korfball world, but it wasn't for me, to be honest. But
you never actually played the sport.
Respect for
you went on a night out with us. You didn't actually play the sport. So I mean, if anyone fancies giving a korfball a go, I'd 100% recommend it, especially at the University of Birmingham, but countrywide.
I mean, you've got quite, I mean, it's probably quite expensive, isn't it, to actually start a korfball club?
Oh yeah, I'm not recommending starting the club.
Yes, so it's our benefit to actually join like yours.
Every city will have a local korfball club.
Every city.
That's a guarantee.
I can bet you a lot of money that is not true.
All right. Well, I'm not prepared to bet any money. I'm not a gambling man, but I maintain that korfball is quite affordable.
Yeah.
And that every major city will have a club. You might disagree, but anyway, it's a great sport. It's really fun. The idea is you shoot it into a big netball post equivalent, but it's called a korf. It's 12 foot high, really tall. So there's no slam dunking, sadly. Even though that would be a really cool feature if you could.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would 100% recommend korfball to anyone who is potentially looking for a new sport or anything like that.
Yeah. So no, like from what I've heard, like the korf posts themselves, they're quite pricey, aren't they? So explain how you score on korfball. Like explain what the posts are and and why they are so pricey.
So each 4 people in the team, 2 boys and 2 girls, take a go at attacking.
Yeah.
And you throw it around, like you're not allowed to run with it, the same as netball.
Okay.
And you then basically just chuck it in.
Okay.
And then if you score, that counts as
it looks
a point.
like a giant kind of lampshade, doesn't it? Like it's quite
almost. I mean, yeah. I guess now I know korfball. It just looks like a korf post to me. But from an outside,
or something like
it costs a lot of money. Yeah. Because it's quite specialist.
It's quite specialist.
It is specialist. They cost a lot of money. A grand is not necessarily a fully accurate statement.
Okay.
Because
give or take a grand though.
Give it around that amount. It's very expensive as a sport, but to play it as a club member, it's not that expensive.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely. That sounds good. That doesn't.
Yeah. No, definitely.
It's going well, and you're on the first team.
I am on the first
team.
So, yeah. Very exciting. Yeah. Thank you.
And
which is going well. I feel like it's kind of one of those things you get a bit nervous for because the pressure's on. You want to deliver.
Yeah.
The bit that gets me most excited is so when you're on another team, when you do the hands in the middle and you shout the team name, it's like UB Threes or Birmingham Threes, but we just shout University of Birmingham. I think that's so cool because it's like we are the representatives of the University of Birmingham as the first team. I just every time I'm like, oh my god, I'm actually playing for the first team. I can't believe it.
Yeah, you shit on everyone else basically.
No, I'm not saying that.
They don't exist. No,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like we are the main representative because like the best.
Yeah. In
theory, the best that Birmingham Korfball's got to offer, but whether that's true or not, in my case, I'm not sure. But
no, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you. Man. Thanks.
Okay, so we kind of talked a bit about this last week. About the uni strikes. They're coming up. I suppose
it's on Monday, isn't it? The first one.
Yeah,
the start even.
Yes, yeah. It's from Monday to the following Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
And well, when we mentioned this last week, we weren't quite sure how many kind of lecturers and staff
Yeah.
would be striking. Turns out both the Unison and the UCU are both striking. So there's quite a lot of people. I know in our own department there's quite a few strikers.
Yeah, so it's big in the history department.
And then also, you don't have to be a member of UCU or Unison to strike. So the university has allowed solidarity striking, which is illegal if the employer doesn't allow it.
At least they've allowed it then.
Which, yeah, I mean, possibly because if not, it would cause division amongst staff if certain people weren't going to
that would be damaging long term.
Exactly, yes, it would probably be more kind of damaging long term. But quite a kind of issue that's kind of arose from the whole thing is whether students should cross the picket lines and kind of show solidarity with staff, and can you actually support the strikes if you're willing to go onto campus and attend lectures or go to the library and whatnot.
Definitely.
So what's your opinion on that?
Well, it's something I've been wrestling with. I don't know, I'm very conflicted. First of all, at least one of my teachers is absolutely striking, so I won't be attending there's no choice about whether attending those modules, so that's easy. But then one of my lecturers replied, when asked if he was striking, he said, hopefully not, which is very unhelpful, but at the end of the day, he doesn't have to say. I'm just not sure, because I do support their strike, but at the end of the day, I get so few contact hours a week.
Yes,
and, it's third year. We're doing history third year. It's quite hard. We need, it's a lot to sacrifice, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think that people who cross picket lines who haven't been involved in the ballot, so we're not members of the UCU, we're not staff, we're not losing pay.
We're not targeted on pickets,
I don't think we're scabs for going on campus.
No. I agree.
Yes,
but at the same time, I want to support it.
Exactly, yes.
I think some people will 100% use it as an excuse to not go to a lecture because I'm just striking, I mean, that's why I'm not there.
I won't be crossing the picket line, so I won't be going on campus. At all? No, I've got. I'm going to spend time at the guild.
Is that not on campus?
No, the guild is actually one of the areas where staff and students who don't cross the picket line can work.
It's very knowledgeable.
And also, because the picket lines will physically be, if there is a physical presence,
at the gates.
At the gates.
Well, the suggestion is there will definitely be.
I'll be missing in total 6 hours of contact. Because I agree with the
message,
the reason for the strike, and also because I want to show my support, and I'll definitely go physically down to the picket line. But I say it's difficult, isn't it? For staff to remain on the picket when they've got other commitments outside of kind of work. So, but anyway, hopefully,
it's a hard one. I don't know. I feel like I probably will miss it.
I'm not
going to
demonise people who don't.
Oh no, definitely not.
Who don't go on strike, or because I mean, I'm not going on strike. Just because I'm not going on campus, I'm not going on strike. Going on strike has much worse implications for you than simply not going on campus. And I support both the UCU members, both the lecturers and the support staff entirely. So
definitely.
I'm going to join them. And I say I'm losing 6 hours of seminars, and that's okay. So
it's worth it.
I think so. Yeah.
And on the bright side, next week that means we'll have very few contact hours, so even more time for us to prepare for the podcast for next week's edition.
Even more than half an hour. Yeah.
Even more than the little time it takes us to prepare.
So that's
we wish any strikers the best of luck.
I think so. Yeah, definitely.
And our support as ever, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes down, really.
So that was quite heavy, so I think we should probably move on to something a bit lighter. So you've been watching I'm a Celeb this week, or
I've been present when it's been on. I'll go that far.
I've not seen any of it, so how's it gone so far?
Good. Yeah, I mean, a few big names have stood out straight away. Ian Wright. Do you know Ian Wright?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
He's a former footballer. He's on Match Today.
It's like a particular Nazi or something.
Not like last week's infamous moment. Again, apologies, Rio. No, we don't believe that. But yeah, and Ian Wright's lovely.
We being who?
Me and you.
I believe it. Do you not think he looks?
Okay,
like
officially
Levels?
The podcast. Oh, I can't believe we've managed to bring this up again.
Okay, sorry,
officially, the podcast does not believe that Rio Ferdinand is any way associated with Joseph Goebbels.
I never said he was, but if I say you look like Joseph Stalin, I'm not saying you're Joseph Stalin or associated with him.
That is true. That is true. Fair enough. I just worry about the risk that we're going there.
If you could look like any of the Soviet leaders, who would it be?
To be fair, if you ever see Joseph Stalin in his youth,
Yes, yeah, I agree there.
he's dark,
Quite
handsome, and
virile,
bearded.
yeah.
He's quite attractive, really. So Joseph Stalin in his youth it would be my choice. But then as he aged,
He aged very poorly. I
he
mean,
did.
quite a stressful job, especially kind of during World War Two. But
I imagine the guilt of killing millions probably also affected his
horrific aging. Yes.
good moustache.
Good mustache.
Horrific
yes,
aging.
Yeah. Gorbachev, again, yes, but not the birthmark. I'm not going to be anti-birthmark here, but I prefer not to have like a kind of like a bullet kind of bullet hole kind of birthmark on my forehead.
Fair enough. How did we get onto that? What was
Andropov, the lost leader.
You've really gone on.
Does anyone even know who? Yeah. Brezhnev again for eyebrows.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes.
Okay. So you would like a combination of everyone's features, basically, of all the Soviet leaders.
Imagine having both not Khrushchev's, Gorbachev's birthmark with Brezhnev's eyebrows.
That'd be a combo. What a look, wouldn't it? You'd be powerful. You'd look powerful.
And then also Stalin's mustache.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You'd be the perfect Soviet leader, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's Ian Wright of I'm a Celeb.
Okay.
He's just been really funny. He's just seemed like such a sound lad. He's come across very well. And on Match Today, actually, he's quite funny. Him and Alan Shearer always have a little bit of a giggle, which I like. But in the jungle, he's delivered, and I always thought he would. So far, Ian Wright's my favourite. Okay. But I also feel like I should mention.
Can I just
go on?
Controversial opinion.
Yeah.
Alan Shearer is not my favourite Alan on Match Today.
Well, if you're referring to Alan Hansen,
I am. Yes.
He must have retired 5-10 years ago. So it's quite a redundant point.
Shout out to Julie again. My mum's got a big crush on Alan Hansen. So,
has she?
Yeah.
Will she appreciate that being dropped on the podcast?
Probably not. No.
It's a bit of hot gossip there.
Yeah, if you listen out there, Alan Hansen, which he probably is. Yeah.
Sorry, Alan Hansen. I much prefer Alan Shearer.
Okay.
As a Newcastle fan, Alan Shearer is iconic. He's a legend. He's the greatest footballer to ever live, and his Match of the Day punditry lives up to that status.
He's a very kind of like, I don't know, he doesn't seem particularly interesting as a person.
Do you not think? Oh, he's had a very interesting life.
Oh, so, yeah,
he
okay.
has. Yeah. Not just scoring goals for Newcastle. He's
not like a Gaza kind of figure, is he? Like,
no,
if
but
you
I
could
don't
choose
think
who you'd want to go like party with, like it wouldn't be it'd be Gaza, not Shearer.
I wouldn't choose Gaza. The guy's he's in rehab.
Oh yeah.
You'd be supporting him returning to his bad ways.
Okay, yeah.
No, I would definitely go for a pint with Alan Shearer. Okay. Over Paul Gascoigne. Oh man, don't you support? You're gonna derail his rehab attempts. Sorry, Gaza.
Sorry, yeah.
I much prefer Alan Shearer.
Yeah, okay.
Whether you find him boring or not, he's still a footballing legend.
I'm a celeb.
Sorry, yeah. I was going to say special mention to, which Jenner is it on I'm Celeb? Caitlyn.
Caitlyn, yeah.
Caitlyn Jenner. She's got a lot of stick already. And I'm Celeb's like biggest ever name.
Yeah.
In terms of the millions that they had to pay her agent in particular, which Ant and Dec have alluded to.
Was it really millions or was it?
I believe so, yeah. I can't quote the exact figure, but it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
But she's been worth it. She's been really good.
Because I mean, like, I think what people forget about Caitlyn Jenner, like, she was actually like an Olympian. Like, you forget she was, she's quite a tough cookie. You kind of think,
she was never gonna be like too upset by the
wasn't there like a scene or something where like she was like in a car or like she was like kind of like there crossing her arms and everyone's like going mental.
Ian Wright went mental over a little spider, like quite a big spider, and she was just like stoically sitting there like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But she's been so supportive to all the other jungle people.
Yes.
What do you call them?
Yeah.
Occupants.
Campmates.
Campmates.
Yeah.
She's been so supportive.
The jungle people.
And
sounds slightly questionable, doesn't it?
It may be.
A bit problematic, the jungle people.
Perhaps, but Caitlyn, she's been so good. I've really liked her, and she's been quite funny as well. Funny and also supportive. She's come across really well.
Funny and supportive, just like my good friend Matt.
Oh, that's nice. Well, also slightly less pleasant, but there's been quite a lot of transphobic abuse of her.
Yes, yeah.
Because she's in the spotlight, and it's never good.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, I think she's been brilliant, and I think she's really done a lot for
the
trans movement.
Abuse. Watched RuPaul this week, as I do.
This is a nice segue. I like
it.
Go on.
Bag of Chips is on there. So, spoiler alert, Cheryl Hole left the show. It's quite sad. Yes, sad. Yeah. She was with her sister. So basically, it's a week before the final, and they invite either their mums or their sisters or some family member to come and like get dragged up with them. and have to like do like a routine and like kind of have to go like on stage and kind of
Yeah.
perform on the runway. And so Bag of Chips brought her mum along, who's very shy, very kind of like doesn't really get dragged, not really a fan of the whole like kind of premise or concept. And so Bag of Chips sides and all the other like kind of like relatives. To be fair to like Bag of Chips, like all the other relatives, like their like parents or like their like siblings were like so supportive. Like yes, let's they're probably like for it. Like
Yeah.
even like the Vivian, even her mum. She was there like, oh, dress me whatever, like, can't wait, this is gonna be
Oh,
amazing.
that's so nice. Yeah.
But like Bag of Chips' mum was like, oh, no. She was
Hesitant.
not hesitant, yeah.
Yeah.
But she was very, very shy, which you wouldn't really expect because Bag of Chips is like just
So
a
extroverted.
bloody mental head, isn't he? So yeah.
Yeah.
And so they had to go on the runway, and it was Bag of Chips' idea. So she'd be Kris Jenner, and then her mum would be Kim Kardashian, which I think is a bad thing anyway, because if someone's shy, dressing up as Kim Kardashian is not a good thing. Right?
No.
But anyway,
It's not a good celebrity figure to choose in that regard.
They came out and it was a bit of a shit show, really, and they got slagged off massively by the judges. And as they're getting slagged off, like Alan Cobb was proper going in.
Really?
He was really like he was putting the knife
no.
in. But they looked quite appalling, so it was quite justified.
They didn't look anything like
Yeah,
Kim
and then Bag of Chips in her West Bromwich accent, I think it's West Bromwich. She was
Sure.
she was saying, I can't dress my mum up because she's a woman of a certain age and she's got a stomach and I don't want her to look fat like her, or she looked pregnant like
Oh, no.
Davina's sister. And she's basically like proper like laying into like her mum, like, yeah, mum don't suck the clothes, all that kind of stuff. Like she basically
Really?
chucked her mum under the bus.
She's bad.
Which, like, it's up to Bag of Chips. It's up to all the all the queens to actually like dress their mum and their siblings. Like, it's not up. They're basically they're the experts. Like, you can't throw your mum or your sister under the bus like that.
It's Bagger's responsibility.
Exactly,
yeah,
of course it
definitely.
is. And her mum, like, she's not famous. Like, she's like, like a no one basically. And that's like her kind of like 20 minutes of fame is basically getting slagged off by her own son on the runway.
Which is so sad.
Yeah.
Bagger didn't get eliminated.
Bagger didn't get eliminated, which is a bit controversial.
Surely there's a bit of a backlash to the abuse, though.
Well, there always is, because people believe that the whole thing's kind of rigged and stuff, like the producers rig it and whatnot. I'm not of that opinion.
What is the argument that Bagger's too valuable to the overall appeal of the show?
Argument, yeah, they think that
Bagger's given a lot.
Yeah, I mean Bagger, I'll be happy Bagger wins because I think she's good. But I was slightly put off last week.
I thought you said
I mean,
not as big a fan.
Yeah, I mean there could be certain kind of things behind that. I know Rue Paul kind of she alluded to the fact that family is some kind of some difficult kind of things with families sometimes.
Yeah.
But like even if like your parents a bit of a shit like to you, like going on like kind of national telly and then slagging them off for like being fat and old.
Just have to feel so sorry for them out there.
Yeah, hang on a sec. Yeah, so
it's just it's not nice at the end of the day.
I agree.
Not her fault, not nice, and just a bit out of order. But
yes, and then the lip sync for your life, that was Amy Winehouse tears drying on their own, which is a very emotional moment.
Was
I
it?
thought, yeah. Like,
they didn't do that with their parents, did they?
No, but you could see the parents in the back and they were crying and stuff. And Bag of Chips' mum felt awful, because she was in the bottom two.
Did her mum feel responsibility?
Yes,
for the...
yeah.
Oh, no.
And then Cheryl Hole's sister felt bad because one of the reasons Cheryl was in the bottom two was because they wore different costumes because Cheryl Hole's sister's costume broke. So it was basically
quite a drama-filled episode.
It was full of drama. I do recommend watching it, although I have basically spoiled the whole episode.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's worth it anymore.
So yeah, but no, I fully recommend. And got the I think the final in a week or so. So
really? It's actually flown by.
Yes, actually no. The final is tonight. Sorry.
No.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my god. So a lot of people listening might already know who's won.
Possibly. I mean, yeah, exactly.
Well, next week we can comment on who wins.
Yeah, okay,
and you want Bagger to win, despite the a bit controversial goings on in this.
I know. Episode. I don't want Davina to win. Because Davina's okay, but she's a bit of a one-trick pony in terms of. I like when they've got humour and when they're funny, and I think that's quite a big thing of British drag. Like Davina, like she laughs at her own jokes, which are never funny. So.
Okay.
I mean, it's just typical. Like
we have literally spent the entire podcast laughing at our own jokes, but that's all right.
They're funny up now.
Well, let's hope so.
Let's hope so. If we get less viewers than last week, then that's a no. But I know we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
Rightio.
What's next?
1, 2, yeah.
Do you want to talk about the election?
Yeah, go on, why not?
I feel like we have to. It's so
yeah, we have
important.
to, yeah, okay.
It's not going to be as fun
Yeah.
as the RuPaul section,
Maybe not, no.
but it's
Although
very important.
some funny things did happen, didn't it? So,
Yeah.
do you want to explain the Johnson quote?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly sure he said something on the lines of how the Conservative Party would allow murder victims to go to the trial of the person who murdered them. And if you think about that for a second, you might realise that that is very, very unlikely to ever actually happen. And it beggars belief that he can say stuff like that. And
Yeah.
yet, how I don't understand how he's not vetted to the extreme, because he comes out with some bad stuff, and that's unbelievable. Because
Yeah.
obviously, murder victims are dead, so they can't go to the trial of the person who murdered them.
I think even more shameless as well was the Orwellianism of the
Oh
Conservative
yeah,
Party
it's
this
been
week.
it's post debate
yeah,
on
so-
ITV. It's been particularly bad.
So during the ITV debate, which I thought was good, it wasn't. There's a few. I thought it could be better in terms of if they allowed both candidates, both Jeremy Corbyn and Boris Johnson to speak and to kind of
Yeah.
challenge each other directly, as opposed to kind of there being kind of a very kind of strict kind
We
of
would.
half
Was it like a
minute.
30-second?
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't convinced by that.
Yeah, I wasn't really.
I guess it was to apply some control, because they
Well,
can just go on and go on
I
and
thought
go
they
on.
should have kind of asked a question and then kind of let one person speak and then let the other person speak and then kind of
Go at each other.
let them kind of go at you.
Yeah.
'Cause I think like there would be a certain amount of heat does
Yeah.
create light. So
True.
so anyway, I thought it was okay though, and also like
alright.
Corbyn did quite well. Like
I thought he
polling
did, yeah.
numbers, so I think it was like it's kind of like seven out of 10 people thought that Jeremy Corbyn would lose the debate, and then after the debate it was about 50-50. And the people who were undecided between either party or any party,
Yeah,
they
more
were
likely.
massively in favour of Corbyn
Really?
over Johnson, which is a good sign, because
Definitely.
you can't just consolidate people you have already as
Yeah.
supporters. So
He gets a lot of stick, Corbyn, but one thing we have to give him credit for, he is a very good campaigner.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
he
exactly.
comes across so well.
And also like 6.7 million viewers for the debate. Like
It's going to contribute a lot in there.
yeah, of course. Like you kind of think social media is really important, which it is.
Yeah.
But like you can't address like 6.7 million like people at one kind of sweep of the hand. Like
Yeah,
you
I
can-
know.
Which is a great opportunity. And also, I don't know why people watch the the election debates. Is it because like probably as we know who we're going to support, but we kind of we want to kind of cheer on our candidate,
Yeah.
I guess. But or do people watch it because they are generally
Interested
Yes,
in
yeah.
their debate. I mean, for me, it's like, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's quite frustrating, but also like it's like watching your football team. You want them to win, you want to be entertained, and occasionally you do get quite annoyed. So
Yeah.
I feel like I was cheering on Jeremy like I might cheer on Newcastle United.
Yeah, I mean, back onto what the Conservatives doing during the debate.
Oh yeah, sorry,
So
the
they
underhand.
so they changed the name of their Twitter account, which the Conservative Twitter account, to Fact Check UK.
Yeah,
and they had the little kind of blue tick to kind of look official.
absolutely appalling.
Which is like, are they like attempting satire, or are they literally that shameless?
I think it's genuinely that shameless.
Yeah.
And they throughout the debate they tweeted things
Yeah.
that were slandering Corbyn,
And
slandering the Labour
absolutely
Party.
just underhand, like just
Yeah.
if you're gonna call someone out, do it
As
honestly.
a Conservative
Yeah,
Party
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. And
I
they were kind of trying to be kind of the upholders of truth by doing something deceitful.
Yeah, it is appalling to
Um,
be called the Fact Checkers UK. And there is, I think, a Twitter account which is very similar to that.
Called, is it Full Fact or something?
I'm not
Or-
sure, but
yeah,
it's very
yeah.
similar, and they were like
Hang
leading
on.
the outrage
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
like, come on, man, like
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
it is appalling.
it's
But it's not
appalling,
even the only thing they did either. There was.
But I'm not entirely fully convinced by fact
No?
checkers because a lot of no one's ever obviously unbiased, and a lot of fact checkers, like, it's not always as easy as kind of saying is this particular statistic right or wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes if like a statement can have a lot of different kind of interpretations. So I saw there's a fact check about the amount of about kind of corporation tax and the higher rate of income tax, and actually
Yeah.
about how that how it wouldn't increase kind of tax intake if you increased it. And actually, like, it's not the fact checker was basically saying yes, that is true, but it's not quite as clear cut as the fact checkers are kind of making out. So
It's worrying that their name has so much authority, they carry so much responsibility.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can interpret statistics however you wish to.
Exactly, yeah. And all,
You could say this is a fact when in reality it's an interpretation of a statistic.
I think like 9 times out of 10 they are correct. Like they actually.
Yeah, of course. I know they try and have neutrality as well.
I think they're being honest. I'm not accusing them being like kind of working for a particular party or whatnot, or for a particular interest. But I think like sometimes like the presentation is a bit kind of angry. So like is it
leads
a fact,
in one direction,
or is it actually is it disputable? Can you actually can you say the opposite is true, or can you say slightly different? You'd be nuanced, isn't it? More. What
was the other thing they did?
And the other thing was, so Labour launched the manifesto today, kind of built upon the 2017 manifesto. Very good. I think some really good stuff on there.
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
Disappointed slightly with the they've kind of drawn back slightly on their climate change position.
I was disappointed to see that too.
I get that because I mean the unions don't want job losses, obviously, and if the party can't kind of persuade them that leading to as a net zero carbon future by 2030 would lead to zero job losses, it's
it's troubling for the party.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I think it's important. I think 2030 is too late, personally. I think we need to act a lot faster than that. But I appreciate for the time being we need to.
I mean, 2030. You say it's too late, but I mean, like these things, like it will take time to decarbonise.
Of course.
And also, and there has to be kind of very kind of strict, stringent and full on, kind of full on action on
thorough.
it.
It has to be very thorough.
And you have to kind of take people with you, don't you? So you can't just impose kind of certain. And people don't understand why they have to take maybe less car journeys and whatnot. Like
it's not going to be an easy transition.
Oh no, of course not. But if it happens in the first place, I mean, we're saying like it's not going to be an easy transition, but like, will it actually take place?
But at least we know that the Labour Party will take more action on climate change than any Conservative government.
Well, I think so. Yeah, and also like it's not just like a Brexit election. Like I think
100%. Climate change is the biggest issue in the world.
Of course it is. Yeah, absolutely.
It needs addressing, and Jeremy Corbyn did well in the debate to do so.
Yeah.
As expected, Boris he just couldn't.
Just absolutely fumbler. Yeah.
He couldn't. He couldn't give a toss. I don't think.
I mean, in some ways, like both the Lib Dems and the Conservative Party have become like single issue parties. Like all they do is bang on about Brexit.
Yeah.
Well,
in his closing speech, he went on about Brexit and he went on about abusing Jeremy Corbyn. That is basically the Conservatives to a T this year, and Lib Dems is just there's like
rising homelessness, there's rising rising costs in terms of living and rising costs in terms of rent, and there's a lot of shit in society that needs to be kind of addressed.
Definitely.
And you're not going to do it by debating Brexit endlessly and making every issue kind of. I mean, Boris Johnson kind of framed every issue with Brexit. So like he said, if it was about the economy or about the NHS, be like, oh, and Brexit. Yeah. But actually no, like these issues were still pertinent, and before Brexit even happened, before Brexit, before the EU referendum was called. So
it's damaging, and also it's very dull. We've literally been having the same debates for 3 years now, and I'm honestly.
I mean, for me, it's kind of killed politics slightly because I'm quite a political person. But I can't get passionate particularly about Europe because I'm not overly supportive of the European Union. Yeah. So I struggle to kind of actually say, I'm not like a full-on, full-on defend like the NHS, the welfare state, things like that. But I can't full-on, defend an institution like the EU, which I think has done lots of damaging things throughout Europe, and I believe is fundamentally undemocratic. And so that's difficult for me to kind of defend.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I do personally believe in the virtue of the European Union.
Yeah.
But that's again, we are now falling into this debate, which is exactly what we were complaining about a second ago. That's all right. So we never got round to the point of what the Conservative Party were doing after the Labour manifesto. So just to finish up quickly on this topic. Of course,
so they published a website called labourmanifesto.co.uk or .org.uk or
something very official sounding.
Yes, and so when people go onto Twitter and they can see a link, it literally just says labourmanifesto.co.uk.
Yeah.
To be fair to them, don't want to be fair to them particularly, but I'm going to be. They say made by the Conservative Party, but still,
quite clearly, or I've not been on the website.
Fairly clearly, it's smaller text.
People just won't read that though.
Yeah, and also like the whole kind of framing of it, and I think if it wasn't for the kind of debacle about the whole, fact check UK thing, they wouldn't have, been made kind of so public the fact it is a Conservative Party run.
It might be even more
endeavour.
underhand.
I think so, yeah. But it just, shoot straight and be honest. Like, don't hide behind kind of.
Just like, do you not have faith in your policies to be able to say, right, this is wrong and this is right. This is
Yeah.
what we're doing better, rather than just creating this like false agenda of why the Labour Party is so bad.
I think part of the reason, because they're kind of devoid of policies. I mean, they've had austerity for 9 years, and basically their manifesto is now reeling back from austerity, but not in a kind of full on or a particularly effective way. And like because they're so devoid of policies, like their methods and their kind of way of campaigning is just cheap, isn't it? Like
it is.
Same with like Theresa May, all that kind of strong and stable leadership. Like that was devoid, absolutely devoid of kind of any thought or any kind of,
It's just a baseless rhetoric, isn't
exactly, yes, just absolutely baseless. Yeah. So,
Anyway, should we move on from the election?
That was heavy, yeah.
Yeah,
very
that
heavy.
got intense, but it's important. It's like, and I think finally we should say, please do register to vote. We need people need to vote.
Yeah.
Can't say we obviously. If you've listened to the podcast, you know exactly which way we'd like you to vote. But at the end of the day, as long as you're voting, showing you're right, that's good.
That's it, yeah. So now I'm going to go on to, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
So Matt is routinely and pretty widespread abuse of your veganism, and so I'm going to give you like about 2 or 3 minutes to basically defend veganism, your veganism,
Okay.
why you're a vegan, anything like that to do with that. So
Yeah, of course.
3 minutes beginning now.
Thank you. So I've been vegetarian my entire life until 1 week in first year I decided to go vegan, and some of my friends went vegetarian from meaty to vegetarian. It was a good experiment. It was interesting. I found it quite hard. And then in second year, I did Veganuary the whole month. And then basically I've been vegan since then. And I actually feel good. I feel really happy. I know that some people do abuse it slightly. And I feel like it's slightly unfair to say the abuse is widespread. It's among certain people who are attempting to wind me up. But basically, I believe
sorry, yeah.
Go on.
I was going to say, you got that same meme from a lot of people, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. If you're a vegan, people do send you every vegan-related meme possible. And the people who are listening will know exactly who they are. They just send... And I get the same meme off like 15 different people, because Matt's a vegan, he'll love this anti-vegan meme. Thank you.
I've got a friend who doesn't even know who you are, listened to the podcast and sent me a vegan meme.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, that shows how widespread it is. At least people are thinking about it though.
Yeah.
And the reason I believe that veganism is so important is because obviously vegetarianism is good, and you're a vegetarian, Dan. I don't want to ever make it out as if like I think I'm morally superior, because I don't.
Yeah. All right.
No, I actually don't. I just think in terms of the environmental impact, dairy cows have a very bad environmental impact.
Yeah.
Also, the murder of male cows, I don't agree with that. So that supports the dairy industry. And then in terms of eggs and chickens, a lot of it, obviously, no, it's hard to agree with battery chickens. But even free-range hens, the male chicks are murdered immediately.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this horrible video of this conveyor belt of little chicks, and the male ones were being sent off in one direction to an incinerator.
Fake news, Matt.
Not an incinerator, like a blender. And it genuinely, it hit me hard. So there's the environmental impact, there's the moral impact of killing animals. And for me, I honestly don't find it like that much of a sacrifice. It's worth it, because when I think about how milk is made, how cheese and eggs are produced, it all contributes to this idea that I've got a smaller carbon footprint as a result, which is massively important. I'm doing my little bit, and B, also the ethical reasons behind it as well.
I mean, ethically, I can't criticise it. Like, I think everyone who's a vegetarian has, would probably like to be vegan.
Yeah.
And unless, like me, they love cheese and eggs and stuff and milk. And so,
but I used to think I loved them too, and now here I am saying here.
Possibly, yeah. But I mean, I think it's difficult for me to argue against it morally or ethically.
Because you do basically agree.
Because I agree, yeah. It's a logical kind of externality of why I'm a vegetarian. But in terms of environmentalism,
go on.
I agree with the kind of adage that everyone should do something as opposed
Yeah.
to some people doing lots. And so, not criticising you at all, not going to throw shade.
That's fine. You can.
Yeah.
Go for it.
But no, I think my carbon footprint already is quite low.
Yeah.
And I don't I don't have a car, I can't drive. I use public transport, use heating and electricity quite sporadically.
Yeah. Apart from leaving your light on occasionally.
Sometimes, yeah. And so
And the hob, leaving the hob on.
And so I'm probably at a much kind of lower level than most of the people in society.
100%.
But also, I don't really feel like I have to become a vegan in order to fulfill certain kind of climate kind of climate targets and stuff. So
Yeah.
I get it, and I respect it massively.
Thank you.
But again, if you're going to convince me of veganism, cook better food, Matt.
You've
got to cook better food.
Now
mate.
it's turned personal.
Thank you.
Right, that's so unnecessary. I honestly think I cook nice food.
Just to clarify, I wasn't clapping myself. It was one of the audience members clapping.
Yeah, it
so
was.
Just so I wasn't, looking like a.
Yeah. well, I don't think I cook badly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
okay.
I know that I like my own food,
Mm.
and frankly, it doesn't really matter if no one else
that,
does.
'cause, yeah.
So I can cook vegan food that I like,
Yes. Yeah.
and therefore I can justify it to myself not eating the dairy and milk and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's. Well, I think I would encourage people to eat less meat
Yes.
and
Okay.
have less dairy and less cheese and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
and less eggs.
Can we agree from the outset though that almond milk or any kind of other milk is awful?
No.
tea?
No. Okay, I'm not.
Absolutely awful.
I'm not sure about this audience participation. We need to calm it down a little bit,
Yeah,
guys.
please,
Thank
yeah,
you. Sorry.
That's to leave it.
But no, because if you ever, I don't want to endorse a particular brand, but Oatly milk, particularly Oatly barista is first class in a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could not
No,
taste
no,
the difference. I know you disagree, Dan, but several members of this house have now been converted to Oatly as a result of, my campaign. That's my campaign towards Oatly milk.
Poor taste and sound, isn't it?
Honestly, it's really nice.
Ugh.
I accept it in cereal, perhaps not as good. It's a taste you get used to though. It's
It's all about green top. You've got to have green top milk for like cups of tea.
I
I couldn't even whole milk and tea is awful as well. Skim milk don't even go there. What the hell is skim milk? It's water you pay for.
You're very particular about your milk. I feel like if you transition slowly to oat milk, you'd be fine.
And then also another thing about dairy: people who get less than extra mature cheddar, why? Like, don't go for. Why choose something less flavourful or flavoursome rather than full cheddar?
Maybe some people find it too much though. Too mature. I don't know.
Too mature, yeah. No, like a good, kind of stinking bishop. I like, proper.
But we do know we've got a friend who he finds ginger biscuits too spicy.
He does, yeah.
So you can understand why perhaps
very
mature cheddar.
Phrases as well, like bloody hell.
I mean, to be fair, Dan, you were crying after a jalfrezi.
Well,
Dan went about as if this jalfrezi was like, oh, that's not spicy. Oh, that's fine. What you complaining about it for? And then he tried one, and there were several tears streaming down his face while he was eating it. Anyway,
I mean, the same person who claimed that the jalfrezi was spicy also has to drink water and milk with his korma. So
me? Oh no, sorry. But anyway, Oatly milk really good. Give it a go at home if you want to. Yeah. Oatly barista in your tea. I know Dan, you're not a big fan, but
no, I'm not going to challenge that because fun fact though about almond milk.
Go on.
It's not like a new kind of fad. It's been going since like the kind of the Middle Ages.
Really?
So yeah.
How do they make almond milk? I've always wondered this.
Don't know. But they.
But surely it must be quite a rude, quite an easy technique because they've been doing it for so long.
Yeah,
it's not like some sort of advanced.
Yeah, Miriam Muller, my fantastic lecturer, was saying how in the Middle Ages, around the kind of time of the Black Death, people were quite big drinkers of almond milk. It's quite pricey, but then.
That is so interesting.
One of the consequences of the Black Death was that people had more money, so people could spend, more on kind of almond milk and.
So why did they prefer that to cow's milk? Was it easy to get hold of?
Well, very simple. Like cow's milk doesn't keep. So.
Yeah, I mean, I find that in the modern day.
Yeah. Okay.
I will never run out of almond or soy milk because it literally lasts forever. You have it up somewhere higher in a cupboard, and then you always got a bottle to turn to.
Yeah, and then also, spoiler alert, there weren't fridges in the Middle Ages.
Yes.
So yeah.
I guess that does play a big part.
Yes. Yeah. But during the winter, I presume they would have, would milk be fine, and also people kept their own cows for for subsistence and whatnot. So
yeah, for the next podcast, I think I'm going to do some research on how almond milk is made, and I'll get back
that
to
sounds
everyone.
bloody interesting. That does, Matt.
Yeah, that could be my little almond milk segment next week.
Oh, great! Can't wait for that. So yeah.
Well, don't sell it to them too much. Please come back. Thank you.
Shall I go for my POVV?
Yeah, we'll
Okay,
finish.
yes.
We'll finish with. So Dan wants to.
This is heavy, but
it is quite heavy.
Well, I think it'll be okay. Okay. So I've got like a new segment that I thought of called POVVV. Get it? So point of view VV.
It's not a mouthful at all.
No. And so you're going to kind of be kind of devil's advocate, aren't you, on this? So,
I'm going to try.
So it's about free speech on campus, and I'm not a free speech absolutist. I don't believe there should be no limits on free speech, but I'm close to being one as while still supporting hate crime legislation and the kind of threats to violence and incitement and that kind of stuff. And so I was quite upset when I had to recently book a external speaker for our society, and the speaker was asked to sign a form where they were basically told that they were not allowed to be offensive or even insulting, and that wasn't going to happen because it's what I'm in a kind of human rights group, Amnesty, and the kind of person we're going to invite is not going to be insulting or offensive. But these two things are it's very from person to person. Like, not everyone is offended or insulted by the same things, and I think it's too limiting and it's too restrictive to tell people they can't be offensive or insulting, because we're here to learn, we're here to find out about new ideas, we're here to be challenged, and it goes against I think my what's my kind of view of let's if you don't like something, walk out the room, leave, or if better, if you can do stay and listen, and you might learn something. But I don't think, because there must be some great speakers who have caused offence or have been insulting in the past, and the guild, which is kind of our union, take about 3 weeks to process kind of speakers and make sure they're okay to come in. And if that speaker's been kind of on their red list, or they don't like him or her particularly, that can they can stop us from hearing from them, which I think is wrong. But I don't know what you think.
Well, I'll play devil's advocate if I can for a minute. First of all, from the guild's perspective, I can fully understand why they wouldn't want someone to come and say something offensive, because as a speaker at the university guild, they are it's the guild's responsibility what the goings on in the guild, and if things that are being said that are offensive and people are getting upset by that, the guild have a responsibility to reduce the people who are being upset and reduce the offence caused. Do you not agree? The guild has you don't.
No, I don't, because I think offence is so person to person. It's so it's not. And also the guild also has a responsibility, I believe, to enhance and to kind of extend both freedom of speech and debate. And so I don't agree with the kind of position that if someone's either said something offensive in the past, or their view might be interpreted by a certain person in the audience as offensive, that they shouldn't therefore speak.
Okay. On the other hand, though, so you pointing out how it's a very subjective topic, and how one person.
That was the word I was looking for. I was thinking, I think person to person. That doesn't sound subjective.
But so one person's offended about nothing. But the question is, where do you draw the line? So the guild have quite a blanket ban, I might say. Little reference to the previous joke. Thank you. And the reason for that is because where do you draw the line?
I think the line should be drawn at the law. So what the law says about hate crime and about inciting violence, draw it there, I think.
Okay.
And so therefore you would still have restrictions on, say, Islamist terrorists or far right preachers. Should really be far right terrorists and Islamist preachers. But
people who are intent on radicalisation or saying genuinely horrific things. But the problem is it's a slippery slope. Like allowing one person's, so someone on the left might come in And if they're allowed to speak, then why can't someone from the right come in and give their opinions?
Well,
Do you see what I mean? Like,
yes, I mean that
seems slightly unfair.
But in some ways, that's an argument from my kind of position, because I think, well, free speech is only kind of meaningful and of use if it's you uphold it when you disagree with people. So if you uphold it when you're, that person is saying something you don't like, that's the strength of freedom of speech. That's the meaning of the kind of the concept. And so it should apply the same kind of, the same standards should apply across the board.
I do agree.
And I mean, I'm of the left, and I think, the guild, their committee, they obviously probably of the left too.
Yeah.
And so there's something I think wrong in terms of if they're defining the limits of speech who can come in and who can't.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's within their right to do so.
Yeah.
But if I was on their committee, I would say, that shouldn't be. We shouldn't exercise that right in the kind of restrictive way they are. And so, if I was to go on committee, if I was to run for president, my first pledge would be to scrap the external speakers process, basically, and kind of make it so it's more like the universities. So the universities is where basically anyone can come on. They get vetted in the standard kind of law-abiding way. To make sure they're not going to incite hatred or break the law, or which is breaking the law. Sorry.
Fair
enough.
There's
no kind of signature they have to kind of write down about not offending or insulting people. And so I'm not a fan of the kind of restrictive nature of the game.
That's fair. I mean, in fairness, I've not done a brilliant job of playing devil's advocate, mainly because I do agree. But that was interesting. I'd like to pick up on when you said if you were to run for president. So at the University of Birmingham, when people run for president, they have like little nicknames. So who was it? Was it just Josh this year? And who was the one the year before?
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces. What would your nickname be if you were to run? Because we also had a candidate who ran as two-ply guy because he wanted two-ply toilet paper across the campus. Quite popular. I think his policies lack substance beyond the toilet paper, which is always going to be an issue. What would your nickname be if you were to run for president? I'll put you on the spot a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think now.
Maybe we can, in the comment section, if you could put any recommendations of what Dan, you can play off Dan. It's usually rhyming. We had a bit of a sweets thing.
Alliteration or whatever,
alliteration would be great. So in the comment section, give some ideas. And maybe next week, Dan will have had time to think about one.
I think, Well, how about your name?
Oh, I don't know. It's a very difficult question. I'm sorry for asking it.
Right,
it's just interesting.
Almost at the end now.
Yeah, I finished mine, so I think we can wrap up. I'm afraid, Julie. Sorry, Dansman. We've managed to make this podcast even longer than the last one.
We have, yeah.
And it's perhaps been even deeper on some of the issues you covered as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I hope people have enjoyed it still.
Yeah. Well, thank you for tuning in, for listening. So
we'll be here again next week.
Have a wonderful week, and don't get too bogged down with the election.
Make sure you enjoy RuPaul tonight.
Keep it nice and light. Yep.
Light and breezy.
Light and breezy. Should we have a high five?
All right. Thanks, Dan. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
See you
Thanks
then,
for
bye.
listening.